Hey everyone, so what's really shocking is Shiba Inu is now being mentioned by BitBoy, which is pretty crazy, and I wanted to give my own thoughts on this video because BitBoy obviously talked about it, so I think that's pretty awesome.
In here. But first, all right, so Shib's coming out there, metaverse. What are your thoughts on this? Is this a money grab?
Is it a money grab? It's hard for me to really talk about Shiba in any serious capacity.
Because it's a meme.
And always be sure to smash that like button. I think this interview by BitBoy, again, he's a really awesome guy. I think it's a really awesome thing he did to talk about Shib and give his own thoughts because, well, honestly, he didn't give his own thoughts for some time. And, you know, they're asking, is the metaverse a money grab? Does it do nothing? But let's check that out.
Meme coin?
Not because it's a meme coin, because the whole thing is a joke. Like, we seem to associate meme coins with jokes, but like Dogecoin isn't really a joke, right? If you go back to the earlier days, it's actually a pretty consistent performing altcoin since the very beginning. It's not like all of a sudden it came out of nowhere. Shiba wanted to hop on the trend that Dogecoin had kind of set, but they learned from Dogecoin that if you limit yourselves and just say, well, we're just a currency, we're just a meme coin, that you're going to hit limits of where you can go. And so Shiba, the people behind Shiba are constantly coming up with ideas to try to carry it into the next iteration of what it's going to be. But nobody wants to take Shiba seriously. So the question is, what do I think about it? I just think the entire thing is a joke.
Sometimes even jokes can be very fulfilling. Of course, I do agree the developers are constantly seeing new ideas, new lands, and everything else. And this is getting a lot of controversy. But I think, you know, if something hits, if even a game hits or a metaverse hits, it could prove very useful.
You know, like the Shiba people don't want to hear that. The Shiba people want to be like, no, this is what is going to set us up for success. No one is going to seriously use a Shiba metaverse. And he said, just wait till we get into talking about the ETH. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and so when you say like no one's going to use the Shib metaverse, like I totally understand that, and I agree with it. I mean, eventually the goal, and if like you know, if you followed the movie Ready Player One,
I think it's possible that some people will be using Shiba Inu metaverse, but it could be people who already know about Shiba. So he also says, what does he think about the Shiba Inu community, why they're using lands, and what is, you know, a metaverse in general.
Who heard there's a cheap coin, I should buy it. Right. And they went and they bought it. And, you know, people are quick to point out the massive returns for Shiba is the #1 returning coin of 2021.
That's definitely true. That's definitely true.
Return on investment, you know, like 75,000% or whatever it is. Well, only the people at the very beginning that were behind the project realize those kinds of gains.
no one will. That'll never happen again.
But I think the difference is like Shiba has a community, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's the same as the ape coin, but it's the partnerships and it's who they're like. What does Shib really have? Do they even have the team that's able to make this successful? And I don't believe so. But I mean, could they with enough money raised? Possibly. But I think the big difference is you have to have.
I think it's really important to say that they did outsource a lot. You know, they have main developers for Shiba Inu team. They have Shiba Inu team members who are looking for partnerships. And then they have, you know, people who build the Shiba Inu game, the Shiba Inu metaverse, like people who are ex-Activision and so on.
They're at least poor in decision making.
Some of them made a lot of money, though.
Now I want to be clear about that. That's 100% accurate. And we would never, you know, demean anyone that made a lot of money on Shiba because congratulations if you did. That's a big win. Learn from it and get out. Because their marketing practice from the very beginning has been latch onto something bigger and more successful, and let's ride that. They did it with Dogecoin. They did it with Vitalik Buterin by sending him a bunch of free coins. They've done it consistently. That's been their strategy. But what have they really put out that's been successful other than the price rising? And when you look at that track record, at some point, that formula is going to run out of gas.
Well, I do agree with BitBoy here. I think it's still super early to say as their Shiba Inu has a lot of projects inbound. But I think, you know, BitBoy does have some clear points. What can the Shiba Inu team do to make the coin explode again, to make the coin actual value in terms of points? As, for example, the own blockchains. They offer tons and tons of value. How can Shiba Inu do something that other coins cannot? And this is what every single big token is probably struggling. They have to offer something different, and that is big to me. That means a lot. But do you agree with BitBoy here? Do you think Shiba Inu metaverse is false? Do you think it's the next big thing? I think it's definitely really awesome that BitBoy is talking about his own thoughts on Shiba, even if some of them are different than ours or different from the community. It's really important to see where it goes from here. But be sure to smash that like button. I'll keep you guys updated with what happens with Shiba Inu news. Until next time, peace everyone.